Hi everybody, Dan Illman here with some exciting news. DRF Formulator, the gold standard in past performance information, is now free, exclusively on DRF Bets. Join DRF Bets with the promo code WINNING, get a $250 first deposit match bonus, a $10 free bet, and free Formulator already uploaded to your account. Access Formulator's premium features, including sortable trainer stats, race replays, personalized trip notes, and lots more. Free Formulator, exclusively on DRF Bets. Dan Illman, Mike Beer kicking off a 50-cent pick four at Tampa Bay Downs on Tampa Bay Derby Saturday with graded stakes action. It's the Grade 3 Florida Oaks. 3-year-old fillies going 1 mile and a 16th on the turf. Let's take a look at the field for race number 9. Now, we're expecting some wet weather at Tampa Bay on Saturday. And if you're looking for horses that might like a little bit of give in the ground, why not a European invader? The 3 Dutchess comes in for Chad Brown.
Yeah, I suppose that could be a positive for her, Dan. I mean, it feels like, there are as many of these European imports coming over here to get away from soft ground as there are that get here and like it. But it certainly could be an advantage for her.
Let's take a look at the Timeform US Pace Projector, because this could be a very important handicapping angle for this race. It's the rare gray bar no speed situation, and it's nice to have tactical speed in a race with none. A little love and luck, the 7 has that tactical speed, and she's been good on dirt, she's been good on synth, she's been good on turf. If she gets this situation, she's going to be real tough to beat.
Yeah, that could be an advantage for her, certainly. It feels to me like the 6 Spicer, the lightly raced Chad Brown filly making her 3-year-old debut. She seems to me like a horse who has plenty of tactical speed as well. But man, you go through this field from top to bottom, Dan, there's clearly not that much speed in here.
The number 1 is Mrs. Barbara. We're going to look at her final start as a 2-year-old up at Woodbine for trainer Mark Cassie. 6-1 on the morning line for Mrs. Barbara. She looked good winning the Grade 3 Mazarine Stakes. It was a race, Mike, where she had to go 2 turns on the synth that day, but as we see, she's pretty game to win.
Yeah, I thought she was really game to win. The trip, I think overall, the trip worked out. She had to just sort of force her way to the outside once they got into the stretch, but once she got clear, she was very game. I feel like when you look at her, you have to decide, did she just improve in her final 2 starts because of the surface switch? Or was she just getting better at that time? I think she was just getting better at that time, because I don't think her prior 2 turf starts in those stakes races, I don't think they were bad. She was still pretty green in those races. And I thought she got a terrible ride in the Natama, the Grade 1.
Yeah, the Natama really isn't as bad as it looks on paper. It didn't look bad at all. She ran 4th beaten 8 lengths, but I just don't think the situation worked out. And she was for something like 42-1 that day. You could argue she easily outran her odds. It'll be interesting to see what we get off the layoff, but I think she can step on turf just fine. I just hope she can stay close to the pace. Roughly a Diamond is the number 2, and Roughly a Diamond ran in the Swedish Chant last time out at Gulfstream, and she just got run off her feet. 2 back at Tampa Bay, she was a winner on the turf with Lasix. She'll be getting Lasix on once again, but I'm not sure that Lasix on's enough to improve her 10 lengths on some of these.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. She got off to a pretty poor start in that most recent start. Maybe that's enough of an excuse, Dan. Her prior 3 turf races were okay. They aren't races that are going to give her a real chance against this field, but they were okay. And I can certainly understand anybody who wants to give her another chance.
And she's another horse, though, needs to show a little bit more positional speed. She likes to come from out of it. The 3 is Dutchess. She only raced twice in France, and maybe not against the strongest competition, but she scored last time out, and I like the way she finished that race off going 6.5 furlongs. I don't think the extra distance is going to be a problem. She beat 2 next out winners in the last race, gets Lasix, and handles soft going.
And switches to Chad Brown. There are a lot of positives here. I thought she was really good, winning that maiden race, Dan, the last time we saw this horse. I know her career debut was a little bit of a disaster. They gave her time after that race. She, to me, was really impressive last time. She got bumped between horses at the start. She sat last until about the final 3/16 or so. And once they took her to the clear, she ran that field over with a pretty big finish. I was pretty taken with that effort. I think she might be pretty good.
When I first scanned the past performances, I really wanted to like the 4 Princess Elin, trying turf for the first time, maybe not catching the toughest field in the world. I just don't see enough turf in this pedigree. Cairo Prince is okay with his turf routers, 13% winners. I think 11% is the industry average. But the dam was 0-for-1 on the turf. She's foaled 2 turf runners that didn't win. And this is the family of social inclusion, that fast miler type that was 3rd in both the Wood Memorial and the Preakness.
Yeah, I didn't see enough on the bottom either. I mean, she is out of a Scat Daddy mare, and I love the Cairo Princess on turf. It made me at least mildly interested in this horse at a big price. Another horse who doesn't really have any speed at all, Dan, But I actually liked her debut win from way out of it, sprinting on the dirt.
The 5 Sweet Dutchess is going to face stakes horses for the first time, but she's really taken a step forward since switching to the turf for trainer Kathleen O'Connell. Let's watch her most recent race. It's at Tampa Bay on February the 16th. The pace wasn't very fast. We see her on the outside, and while some might be disappointed that she doesn't get past the leader, I think the leader might be a pretty good runner.
Yeah, Skims could be okay. Very lightly raced for Shug, and was 3-5 in this race, obviously, off of a little bit of a layoff. A decent performance from Sweet Dutchess. She had a great trip. She followed Skims around the track, tried to gun her down, couldn't get past in the stretch. She ran fine. Her turf debut prior to that, a pretty good effort. And I'm not sure that she beat a great field that day. And she just ran down a big long shot who was very tired at the end of that race. But it feels like this horse is definitely better on the grass.
Chad Brown also has Spicer in here, the number 6, making her first start of the year. Jose Ortiz gets the mount, and she beat 2 next out winners in her final start as a 2-year-old. Let's watch that maiden race at Aquita. Her maiden special weight, and she just utilized her good tactical speed to sit a nice spot down towards the inside. The hole opens up. She gets to the outside, but once she's in the clear, she finishes it quickly.
Yeah, this was a really nice performance, I thought, for this filly, whose career debut was just sort of a modest performance for third without ever threatening. You mentioned 2 next out winners in this field. Both of those horses that returned to win are also back in this field. So we'll see if they can gain some ground on Spicer, who you can see there in the replay. Totally dominated that field, sat a really nice trip, actually made a one move up the back stretch just to get herself into position, then made another move when they came to the stretch to just blow that field away. I really liked her maiden win the last time we saw her.
A Little Love and Luck just has that pedigree that you knew she was going to get better with racing. She's by Arrowgate, out of a strong turfy family, and she's done some really good things in her last 3 starts. I like the way she won the maiden on Tapeta. She got a great trip and ride when winning this race. The Ginger Blue on turf 2 starts back. She sat the pocket, then she got to the outside at just the right time under Paco Lopez, but then she does the rest. Once she's straightened out into the lane, she runs these horses down, and she backed it up with a good second behind a very good dirt filly in Nest last time out.
Yeah, she did. I mean, I don't really want to sit here and knock her down. I don't love this race, and I just sort of felt like she got the best trip, and that's kind of why she won the race. Opalina was third in there, and Opalina's come back with 2 really nice performances out of that effort, so maybe that means something. And obviously, if she gets to the lead in here, maybe that's an advantage too. I just felt like she would take money in here, and I didn't really want her as one of the favorites.
On Alert, the number 8's done good work in her last 2 starts with Lasix on for Shug McGahee. And again, the Shug horses just get better with racing. Let's watch her last start. And now there's a one other than at Gulfstream on February the 16th. And she's the kind of horse that doesn't have a lot of pace. She's in behind horses here for a second. It looks like the inside's there, and she's kind of just grinding it out late. But I never really thought she got totally clear. I think she can take a step forward off of this performance. I just don't like the way this race is shaping up from a pace standpoint.
I don't like that either. And the other thing, and you're right, being down inside and behind horses chasing through the stretch, it's not, an ideal trip. The problem, Dan, is the only reason she was in that position is because when Castellano took her to the outsider on the second turn, she couldn't keep up with those horses and wound up falling back behind them. And then she had to go to the inside. I don't think it's where Castellano wanted her to be. It's just where he had to put her. She feels like she could be pace compromised in here, but there's upside, Dan. I don't know. She's a big price. I'm not going to argue. I didn't really like her that much.
The morning line favorite and the horse they might have to beat is the 9 Ambitieuse. Let's watch her last race. It was the sweetest chant at Gulfstream Park, and she caught a hot horse this day. She came with a good run. She also got a very strong pace. They were strung out early, chasing this loose leader who went fast. We see her get up for second. The winner of this race, Opalina, is just razor sharp. She came back to run second in the grade 3. Here comes the bride with an 88 buyer. Ambitieuse is good. It could be a completely different pace scenario in here. And if she's ridden the same way, she could be in trouble.
Yeah, I didn't like that. She ran fine last time. Yeah, I liked her in that race. I bet her in that race and thought it was a good spot. And I didn't think she had a huge excuse in there. She was just second best. Maybe that's fine considering what Opalina came back to do in her next start. I don't know. I wasn't really inclined to go back to her in this race, but she could obviously win.
Let's take a look at our top selections for the Florida Oaks. Mike, you're going with the French horse for Chad Brown. We've seen it happen time and time again. Chad gets his hands on these horses. He knows what to do with them. He knows where to place them. And it just looks like the right spot. This might not be, again, the strongest Florida Oaks in the world.
Agreed. I think it's a really good spot for her. I did like her maiden win the last time we saw her, and I think if she's ready off the layoff, she probably fits well in this field. I'm happy to take her. The other horse for me was Mrs. Barbara, Dan. I feel like she deserves another chance on the grass.
I want a price in this race. I have to be honest. I like a little Love and Luck, but I agree with you that she got a perfect trip when she won that race on turf. And I like Ambitieuse, but I'm very, very concerned about how this pace is going to set up. I feel the same way about the European horse. So I want a horse with some tactical speed and a horse that's in decent form. Sweet Duchess's buyers are not too far off the top contenders. She'll be a big price. 3169 for Mike, 5794 for me. It's the Florida Oaks kicking off a pick four, 50-cent pick four on Tampa Bay Derby Saturday. Good luck.